Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time. And I have been knitting. Today's video is episode 16 of my weekly podcast series, which is a series where I upload my progress with my knitting, my crocheting, whatever I'm getting up to with my making process, and I just gab about it. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into it. I have my notes here in my knitting journal, all for your, viewing pleasure for today's podcast. So you may notice, first of all, that I'm in a different location than my videos normally are filmed. Good job noticing that. You're correct. I am visiting my sister, so that is why I am in a different place. So there you go. There's your explanation. So, okay. Let's get into it. This video covers my making progress and general fiber art shenanigans from the afternoon of June 3rd to the morning of today, June 10th. So over the last week, I've gotten into a lot of things. I've made a lot of progress with several different projects. I've even started some new projects. So I want to tell you about them. So we'll go ahead and start with the first section of the podcast, which is project updates. In last week's episode, I surprised you with an unexpected cast on, which was my Lento sweater. And since that time, I have finished both sleeves and I have started the hem ribbing, but I made a rookie mistake. When I was packing to travel to visit my sister, I packed more than enough projects. I packed more than enough, I just packed a lot of things that I didn't need, but I failed to remember to pack the extra or the final skeins for my Lento. So I have a skein of fuzzy peach fibers. That's the fingering weight that I'm using for this Lento, and I also failed to pack a skein of the Dusty Yarn Co. Suri that I'm using, and I lost yarn chicken on the fuzzy peach fibers on the fingering weight yarn. I have this much left of the Suri, and I have 10 rows left of the hem ribbing. 10 rows and then a sewn bind off. So, man, disappointing. So, this project is nearly done, but obviously is not going to be complete until I get home. Theoretically, I could have DJ mail me the skein of the fuzzy peach fibers and it would get here in time for me to finish it, but that's just, we don't need to be bothering with that. So I have a nearly complete whip off the needles, but it's not going to be finished. Not going to be finished till I return home to Louisiana. So that's kind of disappointing, but it is, it's fun to see such substantial progress, even though it's frustrating that the sweater is not all the way done. But I'm excited for this to be done, and it will be done so soon once I return home. I'm really wondering, will this Suri be enough for the final 10 rows of hem ribbing and then the sewn bind off? What do you think? I'm not sure. It feels like a substantial amount of Suri, but I'm just not sure. But we'll see. Worst case scenario is I dip into that third skein for both the fingering weight yarn and the lace weight yarn. It'll be okay, but there's the update on my Lento. And then the next update is on a new cast on. This is the Miles shirt jacket by Ozetta, and I've made great progress. Since I'm in a new place filming, I don't really have good reference points of where I can hold this up and you'll be able to see. But here it is. I'm knitting this up in 3-ply Aran knitting wool from Kerry Woolen Mills, which is a family-owned woolen mill in Ireland. Visited it last October on the Irish knitting tour and visiting it again this October, actually. Very excited about that. And I'm just knitting it up, knitting away. I cast this on after I arrived here at my sister's, and I'm hoping that I can finish it from start to finish before I leave. I don't know if that will happen. I don't know, but I've made really good progress. The back panel is almost done. I stopped 2 rows short. I don't know why, but I'll go back and finish those 2 rows. And I just this morning finished this right front panel. It's knitting up beautifully. This yarn is a bit more rustic than I'm used to working with. Whenever I talk about this yarn, people ask me if it's really scratchy, and I wouldn't say, maybe against my face it's scratchy, but I would just describe it as rustic. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like steel wool, it's not painful, it's not uncomfortable, but it definitely is not the same as a superwash merino wool that you might be used to working with if you're trying this out for the first time. I mentioned this in my Ireland trip recap video, but I wasn't sure if I would want to purchase this wool when I was on the Irish knitting tour because I'd read comments on Ravelry that this was just basically unusable because it was so rough. But I was able to find this stocked at a store in Dublin, which was where we started the tour. And I was able to feel the skein in person and realize, okay, yeah, I do want to invest in this yarn when we do end up going to Kerry Woolen Mills later on in the trip. So I was able to make an informed decision. Really happy about that. And I'm really happy that I got this yarn. I have 2 sweater quantities, one in this purple color. This is called Wildberry. And I have another sweater quantity in green fleck, which is like a green tweedy yarn with colorful tweedy bits. And then I also got a sweater quantity of merino wool at Kerry Woolen Mills. So it's knitting up really, really, really well. The Miles shirt jacket calls for US size 10 needles, but I started knitting that and it was way too big. So I went down 2 needle sizes. I'm knitting this on size 8, which is also what I did for this field day jacket. I went down 2 needle sizes. The pattern calls for US size 7. I knit this on US size 5. These are both Ozetta patterns. So I'm thinking that may be my recipe for a successful Ozetta garment. Like for this, I went down, I think 1 or 2 sizes for my body, and I also went down 2 needle sizes. For this, I went down 1 size for my body and 2 needle sizes. So if this works out, then I think I will have a good metric of how to approach Ozetta patterns moving forward, because it seems like I can get close to her gauge listed in the pattern if I go down 2 needle sizes. It's still not perfectly on gauge, but you know, that's something I can go into more in the FO diary video for the Miles shirt jacket. But I'm really enjoying this so far. The construction is really fun. The yarn is really rewarding, so I'm just enjoying it. So there's the progress on my Miles shirt jacket. We'll see if I can get it done from start to finish before I head home. There's no reason for that other than it just seems like a fun challenge, so why not? So I'll keep you updated there. And then I have another new cast on, which is a hat. I'm working on the Oslo hat mohair edition. I'm trying to use patterns that I have in my library. So there you go. Got the Oslo hat mohair edition with yarn that I got, the Rose City Yarn Crawl. It's a little tangled up in here. I have 1 strand of Rowan. I don't remember what the base name is, but it's basically there. I'm pretty sure this is a mohair lace, but it's a lace weight base from Rowan that I got at Close Knit, I think. The second yarn store we went to, I think it was Close Knit. And then the main yarn, does anyone else conceptualize it this way when you're holding 2 strands together? I think of the whatever the non-lace weight is as the main yarn and the lace yarn as the contrast yarn. Does that make sense? Like for me, for the Oslo hat mohair edition or the Lento, you hold 1 strand of fingering weight and 1 strand of lace weight. So in my mind, the fingering weight is the main yarn and the lace weight is the contrast yarn or the supplemental yarn. I don't know. The yarn that like adds the pizzazz versus the yarn that you need for the structure. So anyway, The Rowan is the supplemental yarn or the contrast yarn for my hat. And then this main yarn is Ruby and Rose's Lavender Haze on her rose gold base, which is her stellina base. It's really nice, really soft. You can't feel the stellina. I didn't believe it till I felt a skein in person, but it's true. It feels just the same as 100% superwash merino or superwash merino with nylon. There's like, in my mind, before I felt a skein of stellina, I thought, oh, it's gonna feel like tinsel-y, like a Christmas tree with tinsel on it. You'll be able to tell right away. I don't want that against my skin. No, thank you. But this is imperceptible. You can't feel the stellina at all, and it just really adds a nice pizzazz. Another question that you may have, and in fact I had when I was wondering about holding stellina with a fuzzy lace, is whether or not the lace would overpower the stellina. And since the stellina doesn't really translate in the first place on camera, I'm not sure how well this will translate here, but I would say that the lace weight probably mutes the stellina, but it doesn't overpower it. And I had this same question when I was debating whether or not to get this skein of yarn at the Rose City Yarn Crawl and use it for this project. Leslie of Knit California was there with me. She stayed with me during the Rose City Yarn Crawl, and our friend Ella as well. But I was like, I don't know if that's the right project for this. And then Leslie reminded me of her, what is it, her Oslo sweater, where she held one strand of stellina with one strand of lace. And I remember seeing her wear this on the Irish knitting tour and commenting how amazed I was that you could still see the stellina despite the halo of the lace. So yeah, she reminded me of that sweater, and I even remembered like making a mental note of how well that worked. So I had the confidence to move forward with a project holding stellina and a fuzzy lace, with the knowledge that the stellina would still have its time to shine. Maybe if when the sun catching it, you can see a bit. I don't know how much that's going to translate on the camera. But the stellina you can certainly still see, although it is a bit more muted, I will say. So there's a little cast on for you. Also, you may notice I have my two different sources of yarn, my yarn cakes, in these little yarn cozies that I cranked on my sock machine. I have a video tutorial going over how to do that. If you're interested, I'll link it up here for your viewing pleasure. If I try to put these back in the bag right now, it's just going to make a mess. So I'm just going to set these aside because I don't have the fortitude or the presence of mind to put that in the bag without it getting caught in the zipper. But did I show you the bag? This is one of my merch items. It's a hand knit rat, a yarn ball rat. One of my followers was so kind to design this for me and gift me the design to have in my merch shop. So if you like this, you can get it on a mug, on a shirt, on a sticker, on a baseball hat, on a little Notions bag or project bag. But this is the project bag that I have my hat project in. But really, those are the three projects that I've been working on this week. It would have been so awesome to have a finished object to show you with the Lento, but you know, yarn chicken fights happen, yarn chicken losses happen, and forgetfulness happens. If I had remembered to pack those skeins, that would have been a finished object, no question about it. But, you know, it's okay. In the grand scheme of things, there are bigger fish to fry, and we're not going to get, you know, our butts clenched up in knots over that. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Those are all of my project updates, really only 3. The Lento, the Miles shirt jacket, and the Oslo hat mohair edition. So now I'll move on to the spin section of the podcast. And to sum that up, it's a great big meh, which means I haven't done a lot of spinning. But more specifically, I really miss my spinning wheel. I really miss Spinelli. I have been at my sister's for almost a week, and obviously I don't have my spinning wheel with me, but I miss it tremendously. I did, however, bring Elliott stapler. This is my travel box that I got from the Spinning Siren. The camera doesn't know what to focus on. I got Rachel is Knitting embossed in the 3D print or engraved in the, I don't know, it's in there, it's on there. But yeah, I brought Elliott stapler, and a few days ago I tried to start spinning the mystery fiber that I got from Bella Flato Studio, and it didn't work. As you can see, this is not because of the fiber, but it's because I was just having some technical difficulties. Basically, I started with a new bobbin because I took off the bobbin that is full of Corriedale, if you're familiar with what's on my spinning spinner. I took that off and tried to start a new bobbin, and it was just having issues. I think that this is par for the course. When I'm starting a new bobbin, the learning curve, for whatever reason, resets, and I'm just not at the point where I'm like, no problem, I know exactly what to do. I kind of have to go through the motions of learning again. So basically that happened a few days ago, and I haven't tried to mess with this since. Maybe later today or tomorrow I will revisit spinning, but I haven't really done much spinning while I've been on this trip. I did do a little bit of spinning before I left on my spinning wheel, continuing to spin the Rolags that my friend Corey sent me, and I'm excited to get back to that when I'm home, but there's a time and a place for everything, and right now my priority is not figuring out how to make this e-spinner do what I want it to. My priority is to enjoy my time with my sister and her family. Why is this not closing? There we go. All right, so there's the update on my spinning. Now let's move to the acquisition section of the podcast. Okay, hello, welcome to the acquisition section. I'll tell you a little bit more about this box since this is the first acquisition I got this week. And in fact, I was waiting on it for last week to hopefully show you, but it didn't come in time for filming. All right, so this is a travel box from the Spinning Siren. You can find their website at thespinningsiren.com. The color I chose was blue to rose shift or something. So it has pink and blue, and then in some areas it's more pink, some areas it's more blue, and some areas it's purple. I'll be honest with you, this is not what I expected it to look like, but you know, it works. It gets the job done. So you have this box that your e-spinner locks into. It's secure on here. It locks in with these notches. Oh, and I just broke one. Okay, so I need to glue that. But it locks in with these little notches, these little nubs on there. And it also comes with 2 drawers, or you can specify in your order notes to get 1 drawer. And then I also got some accessories like little, I don't know. I haven't opened this all the way, but little bits and bobs to replace the standard ones on your e-spinner. And then in the second drawer is the space for your portable batteries. So I bought this battery on Amazon. It's the one that's recommended on the Dreaming Robots website. And it's basically so you can spin. It's basically so you can spin on the go and not worry about being connected to an outlet. It's under the couch now, so I'm not going to show you it closer because I'll need to bend over to get it, and you know, you don't need to see anything with that. But yeah, so that's something that I have, and man, that's really annoying that this nub just broke. 2 nubs broke. Yeah, that's frustrating. So I'll super glue those and get those secured again. But that is my first acquisition. The second acquisition that I got, let me move this out of the way, is a little package from Autumn of Size Inclusive Collective. She sent this to my P.O. box so kindly. Since I was the first ever customer for Size Inclusive Collective, she told me that it was time for an upgrade. So she sent me a new cordsmith, and also she sent me her newly released mini cordsmith. So if you're not familiar, the cordsmith is an I-cord maker. So you no longer need to knit an I-cord manually. You can use this little latch hook device to make it so much faster. The original cordsmith, you can use heavier weight yarns like DK worsted, maybe even up to bulky if you have the patience and the fortitude. But this new version, you can use thinner yarns and have a more compact and structured I-cord. So different purposes for different types of I-cords that you may want to make. But I was really grateful to Autumn for sending this to me. So thank you, Autumn. And it came in this cute little pouch with a little cordsmith logo keychain. If I can show it to you and have it not be upside down. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, okay, so there's the cordsmith haul. Thank you, Autumn, for gifting that to me. And then my next acquisition, or chunk of acquisitions, is actually quite a bit. This is in this white bag here, sitting next to me, which is from my grand day out during National or Worldwide Knit in Public Day, Crochet in Public Day, Craft in Public Day, whatever you like to call it. I hung out at Hook and Needle, which is a local yarn store in Maryville, Tennessee. It was really, really fun, and I got some goodies. So, I really got some goodies, I must say. I really did. I got some goodies. So first of all, I got these stitch protectors. How cute are those? Those little tulips. I'm really excited to use these. Totally my style. So I got those, and then I also got 4 skeins of Clockwork Fiber Co. fairy thimbles on their Chime Suri base, which is 75 cents. That would be nice. 75% baby Suri alpaca and 25% mulberry silk. So this colorway is called Fairy Thimbles, and I actually have a sweater quantity of this at home on Sam's non-superwash. Is it DK or worsted? I think it's technically worsted, but it knits up like DK. This is what she told me. But I have a sweater quantity of this color on my yarn wall at home. So I don't know if I will hold this Suri with it for what I make one day, or if I'll use this in another project, but I had to have it. There was another purple Suri that I was debating between that was a little bit more blue leaning, but ultimately I liked how this, I don't know, scratched my brain when I held it up to my face comparing the two colors. So I got 4 skeins of the Suri. Really, I could have gotten 3 because I was thinking maybe I'll make a Lento. But then I was like, but what if I decide down the road I don't want to make a Lento and I only have 3 skeins and I need 4 for something else? Like if I do something with a tighter gauge than the Lento has. So that led me to get 4 of them, just in case I want to go in opposite direction of the Lento. And then I got 6 skeins of Creator of Beauty from Cesium Yarn. This is from the Cabin collection, which was a collaborative collection between me and Cesium Yarn. And this colorway... Woo!
Rachel?
Yes?
Why did you scream?
You startled me. Okay, that startled me. Okay, so as I was saying, this yarn is inspired by my grandmother. She is a true creator of beauty. She like gathers bits and bobs of nature wherever she goes, makes a nice little welcoming bouquet, whether it's at our family cabin or she's visiting wherever, it doesn't matter. She can make beauty out of nothing, it seems like. So this beautiful light purple color is inspired by my grandmother, and I love it. So I got 6 skeins of Creator of Beauty, and I don't know what I'm going to use them for. I might hold them double for a DK weight cardigan. I might hold them single. I don't know, but I just knew that I had to have them. So I got 4 purple skeins of Suri and 6 purple skeins of merino fingering. And then with my purchase, I also got a special gift. During Knit in Public Day, everybody got a gift with purchase, which was this set of purple stitch markers along with the Studio 817 logo. And I also got 2 of these from the gumball machine. At Hook and Needle, they have a gumball machine where you can get little buttons or stitch markers. So I got 2 little orbs of buttons. And then also they gave me this cute enamel pin. It says you can survive anything with yarn. And I know there were more goodies. What else did I get? Oh yeah, so also with my purchase, I got this travel kit, which includes some packets of soap wool wash, a tape measure, a hook and needle sticker, so that will go on my needle organizer case system that I have at home. That's where all my stickers go. There's a tapestry needle in there still, cute little teensy weensy scissors, and then a tin of stitch markers. And I think that pretty much most of these tools can fit right in this tin. So it's perfect, perfect, perfect. So that was awesome to receive. And not only that, so this was free with my purchase, but also I got this free with my purchase. It's been my water bottle the last few days. It's a Hook and Needle branded Stanley style cup. It's not the same as a Stanley. It's plastic, but it's so handy. It's a great size, and it's been working so well for me the last few days. Okay, so that is my acquisition section. A lot of good stuff, but like the project update section, not a whole lot of separate things, just a few meaty things to update you on. So I'm not going to wind those up or start knitting with them while I'm here probably, because I'm still not sure what I'll make. But if you have ideas, either for a fingering weight garment that you really like, or a garment that holds fingering with Suri, or a garment that holds DK with Suri, let me know, because I would love to know what your opinions are or preferences are. If you have a go-to pattern that fits any of those bills, I would love your input. So help me out, let me know. Okay, so that concludes the acquisition section. The next section that I'd like to talk about, which is not a normal section I have, but just a quick recap on the Knit in Public Day that happened this past Saturday, June 8th. So as I said, I spent the day at Hook and Needle, Maryville Yarn Studio, as it goes by on Instagram. If you are in East Tennessee, or if you're ever stopping by or going through East Tennessee, please, you must make a pit stop to Hook and Needle. It is absolutely worth the stop. I have never been to a yarn store that is so welcoming and friendly and accommodating. I mean it. They are so kind there. And one of the most exciting recent additions to the yarn studio and the local yarn store that is Hook and Needle is that they have now rented out the space next to their yarn store, and they have it as an open craft space. It's not a retail space. There's nothing for sale there. It's full of couches and comfy chairs. There's a coffee machine. You can come in anytime that the yarn store is open and use that craft space for free. It's a beautiful space. It's so well decorated. It is so welcoming. Okay, sorry, got interrupted again by a young little friend who wanted to come say hi. But yeah, Hook and Needle, Maryville Yarn Studio, my favorite local yarn store, even though it's not local to me. But I love to visit it when I'm in East Tennessee, and I really think you should too. You should check it out. Christy, the owner and proprietor of Hook and Needle, gave a really nice speech during the grand opening of Studio 817 or 817, which is that craft space next to Hook and Needle. It was so touching. And I have to say also that local yarn stores are incredible. And like this was completely shown to me when I was at Hook and Needle on Saturday, because like people came into that craft space and they just immediately got into conversations. These were people who were dear friends, and it was clear to me that they had become dear friends because of this local yarn store, because of the community that has been fostered by Christy and all of the good people who are at Hook and Needle. This community was like brought into being. It's amazing. And even like at one point, Christy was sitting near me working on her project. I was knitting away. Another woman was like across the room knitting and showing Christy her progress on some socks. And Christy was saying like, yeah, this is what you want to do if you want to adjust your yarn weight for your next socks. And she's like, you're a tight knitter, so you want to do this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like just the fact that Christy has created this space that people can come to and use for free. You don't have to buy anything to sit in this craft space and craft. You can just come, sit, enjoy a cup of coffee, work on your project. Amazing. But I mean, not only that, that is amazing. But even beyond that, for Christy to have in her mind, like, I know you, I know what project you're working on, I know what skill level you're at, I know if you knit tight or loose, English continental, what have you, that blew my mind. To have someone like that in your community who not only is investing in your progress in this skill set, investing in you as a maker, but also facilitating your ability to access a space to act on that. My words are being fumbled, but I was really, really blown away, and it was making me emotional to see such a vibrant and beautiful thing, like the evidence of it having been built from the ground up, because these things don't just happen. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes really good people to make it work. And I was really, really honored to be invited to witness that and to be a part of that. So Chrissy, if you're watching, I hope you know that I'm so grateful to you. I'm so impressed by you. I think that what you have made at Hook and Needle is like, it's no small feat. And I really hope you know that. And I hope that more people get to see it. Seriously, if you're ever near or in East Tennessee, you have to make a point to go to Hook and Needle. You will not be disappointed. I love it there. Okay, we can't spend the whole day being sappy, so we're going to continue, but I just want to leave you with the summary that Hook and Needle is the best, local yarn stores are the best, and the people who run them and make them happen and make them successful are to be deeply admired and cherished. Okay, so let's continue. Knit in Public Day, smashing success. I had so much fun. But let's move on to the announcement section of the podcast, and then we'll wrap it up and you can go about your beautiful day. So the first announcement we have is I want to remind you that I have a Google Doc for video idea or requests. So if you would like to submit a request or an idea for a video, go to the announcement section of the text in the video description box. Click on that Google form. You can submit your idea. You can leave your name if you'd like to be credited. And thank you for submitting, whether you leave your name or not. I'm really appreciative. I have a long running list of ideas, but it helps me out to know what you would like to see so I can make sure that this is fruitful for you too. You know? Okay, great. So there's the first announcement. The second announcement is there is now another Google form in the announcement section of the video box description, which is to add your name and email to an email list for some exciting updates, maybe about trips in 2025. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I think I really fumbled my words there and that was confusing, but basically Google form for video ideas, Google form for email list. There you go. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for this week's podcast. I won't know if it's short and sweet until it gets off the editing room floor, I suppose, but I have a feeling that it's probably going to be shorter and sweeter than usual, so whatever. I hope you had a good time watching. I hope that you had a fun knit, crochet, craft in public day this past Saturday, wherever you worked on your craft, even if it was just at home. That is perfect. That is wonderful. And I hope you had a great time. So That's all I have for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my next upload. Last but not least, head over to Instagram and follow me at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.